know, had to get them out my room. So yeah, it's just.
Hello.
Nope.
Hey, my bad, man. My internet went out in the house, man.
Eesh.
My bad, bro. Like everything disconnected. I'm glad it didn't kick y'all off. I don't know what's
right.
Yeah, but yeah, my bad, bro. So yeah, like I was saying, I don't know what the last part you heard me talking, but I was just saying, that's the universe testing you just to make sure you are who you say you are. Like you want to be this new person, and you want to have this new thought process and this new identity. Like, is this who you really are? So how the universe connections unstable. We be having like blackouts around here and everything. I gotta figure something else out.
Shalom, everybody.
Shalom, Mikey. What's good?
Shalom, Mikey.
All good. I'm keeping it P. I'm keeping it P.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How your day was today, man?
Good. No complaints. How about y'all's?
Man, it was good, man. Stanford, how was your day today?
Yeah, I was good. I can't complain.
Good, man. Hey, man, I got to move from this area. We been having rolling blackouts, bro. Like, I'm like, damn, I'm in America having a rolling blackout. What is this?
Wait, that means all the power is off? That means all the power is off?
Yeah, like in my neighborhood, we'll have a random blackout. It won't be long, but it'll just come through, turn off all the power. And I'm like, man, this is America. I didn't think I was in, Cuba or something. I thought I was in America.
Dude.
So
yeah. Hey, and then Sunday it's supposed to snow.
Yeah, my daughter told me today because she been like, because my daughter split the time between me and her mom, and so she was back home. She's like, I really hope it snows, because she's never seen snow before, and I really hope it snows. So today she was like, it's supposed to snow Sunday, and I'm like, man, it's Thursday. How you supposed to know? Look, the weather thing said right here. She zoomed all in and look at snowflakes. That's not rain, that's snow. And I'm like, yeah, you're really excited about this, huh? She's like, I've been waiting to see snow. Even when she came over, she was like, it better snow when I come up. I said, I can't control the weather? What you mean it better snow when you come up here? So, yeah, she told me about it. She excited. Hopefully it's a good snow. That snow that's at least stick to the ground. You can make some snowballs and stuff. Hopefully that's what it is. Yeah, man. Oh, it's 8:15, fellas. Let's go ahead and get this thing rocking. Start sharing my screen. I did this yesterday. Y'all can hear me?
All
right.
Yeah.
No, let me turn that off. Still trying to figure this Zoom computer thing out, yo. Appreciate y'all. All right, we got that. All right. All right, y'all let me know if y'all can hear me and y'all can see the screen.
Yeah,
all right, perfect. All right, gentlemen, I want to welcome everybody who's here today. Setting Your Intention, session number 14. We've been pushing this thing out 14 days in a row. I appreciate you all being here. For those of y'all who are watching this thing at a later date, I appreciate you all for being here. So this is our Setting Your Intention session 14. So on our journey so far, what we've done, just a brief history. We went over setting our intentions. We did our SWOT analysis, our SMART goals, 5 W's of goal setting, reacting versus responding. We've done recaps. We've done our upcoming goals, just going over the upcoming weekly goals. We did mental health checks. We did reverse engineering of our goals. We've done overcoming fears, and we've done plenty of other things as well, gentlemen. So we've covered a lot in these last 14 days. So who are we? Infrastructure of a Man is an organization and consultant business that works with men to help them overcome mental blocks and stuck points. We also help men restructure their ideas as well as help them create new ideas. We work together to form a support system where men can go to be understood, supported, as well as having an accountability group that will encourage one another to achieve the goals you have set forth for your life. And our aim is to ensure that real men prevail. So who am I? I'm Virgil Johnson. I'm an author, consultant, public speaker, husband, and father. I have 2 works that are published right now on Amazon: Making Your Enemy Your Footstool, How to Use the American System as a Black Individual in America to Your Benefit, and The Garden Bed of Life Journal. So today's topic, I'm going to jump right into it. Today's topic is procrastination. We're going to talk about procrastination. And the reason why I brought this topic up is because there were quite a few gentlemen who said that, they really struggle with procrastination. And the whole purpose of this seminar is to achieve an intention or achieve a goal. And it's very difficult for you to achieve any goal if you're struggling through procrastination, because procrastination will cause you to either wait to the last minute to do key things, which won't allow you to get the bigger picture done, or it won't allow you to experience whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in its fullness, because you're not going to put in the best effort and the best work. So that's why we want to go over procrastination. So I want to go over the textbook definition of procrastination. This is from late 16th century, from Latin to procrastinate, deferred till, which means to defer till the morning. From the verb procrastinare, from pro, which is for, plus crastinus, which is belonging to tomorrow. Cras is tomorrow. So basically it's the deferring to tomorrow, or in layman's terms, deferring to another day or putting it off till later. So this quote from Warren Buffett states, "The chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken." So when we're talking about procrastination, this is a habit. This is, some people call it a failure to self-regulate habit, but nevertheless, it's a habit. And we know with any habit, pretty soon, as you continue to do it over and over and over again, in those moments, you may not feel their effects, but over the long term, that's when you feel the effects. And then if you don't catch it soon enough, it becomes too difficult for you to even overcome. That's why, off topic, but on topic, a lot of individuals struggle with a lot of other things. A lot of, whether it be not being able to change their mindset, whether it be not being able to think outside of the box, taking the next steps, overcoming fear. Like, these are all things that are habits. And so as you continue to do these things over and over and over again, they become your routine. And then eventually it becomes something that's ingrained in you, and you can't break it. So that's why you want to make sure that, especially when it comes to this procrastination, you get a handle on it right now. You get down to the root cause of it right now, because eventually that procrastination will spill over into everything that you do. Something as simple as waking up to go to work. Like, it's how many people, I don't know how many of y'all wake up and you don't wake up in enough time to do what you need to do in the morning, or you wake up and you're always rushing. Like, instead of waking up 30 minutes, an hour earlier, you're waking up right when you give yourself just enough time for everything to be perfect. And then in life, nothing is ever perfect. So then what happens is, now you have all of this pressure, and now all of a sudden the light red longer than it normally is. This person that cut you off in traffic, this person driving slow, that's what made you, all these excuses. But that's because you've built up a habit of procrastination, waiting to the last minute to do stuff. So that's why we want to make sure that we continue to be aware of these chains of procrastination, so they won't be too heavy to break later on.
Hey, Virgil, can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir. Jump on in there.
I had just sent you some of your texts, but that procrastination is the unhealthy coping skill. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I see it right here. I'm gonna let me see. I'm gonna try to read a little bit of it once I get past this.
I got you.
Yes, sir. Okay. So confusion about procrastination. So majority of people, I want to touch on what it isn't. Procrastination isn't laziness. Many people think procrastination is laziness. It's not. But some of the things that procrastination is indecision, not being able to come to a decision, lack of vision or purpose, too many choices, fear, and then self-regulation failure. And some of the main types of procrastination, oh wow, messed that up. Some of the main types of procrastination or some of the main types of procrastinators are the performer, oh shoot, I almost said that word wrong. The performer, the self-deprecator, the novelty seeker, and the overbooker. So these are the four main types of procrastinators, and we're going to go into those real quick. Let me look at what Stanford sent me real quick, and I'm going to read this before I go into that. Let's see. Healthy versus unhealthy coping strategies. Coping strategies are actions we take consciously or unconsciously to deal with stress, problems, or uncomfortable emotions. Unhealthy coping strategies tend to feel good in the moment, but have long-term negative consequences. Healthy coping strategies may not provide instant gratification, but they lead to long-lasting positive outcomes. So examples of unhealthy coping strategies: drug or alcohol use, overeating, procrastination, sleeping too much or too little, social withdrawal, self-harm, aggression. And then examples of healthy coping strategies: exercise, talking about your problem, healthy eating, seeking professional help, relaxation techniques, for example, deep breathing, using social support, and problem-solving techniques. So that's good. You got a couple of scenarios here. Let me read one of them. Juan feels jealous whenever his wife spends time with her friends. To control the situation, Juan uses insults to put his wife down, put down his wife's friends. And it demands that his wife stay home when Juan's wife, what did it say? Hold on, it's really small. When Juan's wife caves to his demands, he feels a sense of relief. Juan uses the coping strategy of aggression to avoid the discomfort of jealousy. So that was a great example of exactly what it is in regards to negative coping skills. And procrastination is a negative coping skill. And we're going to get into these types of procrastinators and how they do, why they do what they do, and how to fix it. So the first one we have is the performer. The performer forces themselves to focus by shrinking the time they have to complete a task. Stoked in perfectionism, the performer is stoked in perfectionism, which is actually a lack of self-confidence. So if you find yourself being the performer, which is the person that is, you wait to the last minute to do stuff because you feel like I perform better, I'm at my best when my back up against the wall, all of that, jazz and hoopla. What that is you're dealing with perfectionism, because if you get done earlier, you give yourself what it is you give yourself more time to nitpick at your work. And that's because you don't feel confident in your skills. So you think that there's always a problem with your work. So what you do is how you cope with all of that is you wait to the last minute to do something. So that way you don't give yourself time to nitpick and second guess your work. And you don't give yourself time to basically tear down what it is that you're doing. So your biggest challenge is getting started. So that person, your biggest challenge is getting started, and your solution for overcoming this is to flip the script and set a start date. Most of us finish on the end date. And I know in what we've been doing, we've been focusing on the end first and then get into the beginning. But when it comes to procrastination, you want to set a start date. Get on a start date, set the start date, and then work to get there. So that way now you're not focused on things, let's just say you got an assignment you got to turn in, and you may have 2 weeks. Nah, you got a day to get started. That now your deadline is now that day. And then in order to address the second part, which is the perfectionism, which is a lack of self-confidence, what you have to do is it goes back to that small wins journal that we've done. You keep a small wins journal. Also, going back to our SMART goals, when you make sure that your goals are measurable, you give yourself a standard to go by. So you know I am performing at peak level because I've met this metric. I've met this standard. So now you don't have to second guess or question, hey, is my product good enough? Or is what I'm doing or producing or what I'm putting out, is it good enough? No, because you have a metric to set it by. So let's just say you have, like for instance, you got your juicing business. So you're like, man, are my juices really working? So you have your metric system. Okay, I have these juices and they do these things. And then what you do is you reach back out to your customers. Hey, the juice that I gave you for this, did it do this? And they say, yes, it did this. Okay, well, you know the juices that you make work 100%. Or they like, it was supposed to fix 5 things, but it only fixed 4. Okay, well, I know I'm working at an 80% succession rate. So now you can get started and know that the work that you're putting forth is working, because my metric is to make sure that I'm, covering 80% of what the customer needs to be covered. Okay, I do that. So I know my metric is being met. So I don't have any reason to not believe in what it is that I'm putting forth. That's how you kill that second part. So the performer, set an earlier start date, get all the way through it, and then have that confidence in yourself by having metrics that are measurable, so that way you can believe in what it is, the work that you're putting out. The next form of procrastination, the next procrastinator, is the self depreciator, self-deprecator. It's the opposite of lazy. So when they don't do something, they are extra hard on themselves. This is seen more in males. The self-deprecator is seen more in males. They tend to blame inaction on laziness or stubbornness rather than admitting that they are tired. So their biggest challenge is taking a break. The self-deprecator, and I know I fall into this a little bit, like you're doing so much, and you really feel like you're supposed to be a robot. And you feel like as soon as you aren't operating robotically, then there's something wrong with you, and then you start beating yourself up. So you can't do that. So your solution is to try taking a walk to give yourself space and begin to rebuild your energy. You have to recharge as the self-deprecator. You have to understand you are not a robot. You are not supposed to be able to just go and go and go and go and go without any rest, without any reset, without any rebuilding. And when you're taking shots at yourself, you're actually weakening yourself. You're weakening your defenses. You're weakening your ability to take care of the things that you need to take care of. So don't do that. You're not lazy. The reason why you are tired is because you work so hard. You're not lazy. Give yourself an opportunity to rebuild your energy and to recharge. That's not laziness. That's called self-care. If you aren't operating at your greatest capacity, how do you expect to put forth your greatest work? So taking a break does not equate to laziness. Like those that are self-deprecators, you have to understand that. You're not lazy for wanting to reset, for wanting to recharge. That's not laziness. That's actually intelligence. So that's that one. We're going to move on to 3. The overbooker. The overbooker is a pro at filling up their calendar and is often overwhelmed. These people are notorious for majoring in minor things. This is an excuse for not doing something and is an indication of avoidance. So when you major in minor things, what you're basically doing is you're giving your conscience an excuse for why you can't get what really needs to get done. And you're trying to fool yourself and fool others into thinking, oh, I can't get this done, when really you're avoiding the circumstance. So your biggest challenge is you create chaos to avoid facing what you know you need to face in the moment. You got to stop doing that. That's basically, what is that called? That's self-sabotaging. You're self-sabotaging. So your solution is to take a moment of introspection. Ask yourself, what am I really avoiding? Also make a priority list and handle the most pressing issues first. So you want to make sure that you're making your priority list, but you got to get down to the root of your causes. Like, why am I avoiding this? What fear is being trumped up in me by not wanting, or just by thinking about completing this task. And it's crazy. Like, a lot of us are really afraid of success. And we fear success not because we want to be successful, but because many of us don't know what that looks like. And we are uncomfortable with the unknown. I told y'all before, men are visual creatures. We learn best, majority of us learn best visually. So if there's something we can't see, it makes it difficult for us to want to hold on to that thing, or to even want to achieve that thing. We want to achieve the things that we can see. That's why many of us, we try to wait and see if somebody else going to do something, or see what someone else's results are, or try to find examples of this thing being done. But the quote that I put up yesterday, what did it say? What did that quote say? It said, if you can't find the success you're looking for, create your own blueprint or something like that. Like, that's what you have to do. And what you have to do is you have to base it off of, you've already overcome things in the past. Like, we all, like, and you may have to track back, like, we all have overcome something that we did not know, or did not know that we can overcome, in order to get to where we're at now. So what you have to do is take that moment of introspection. What am I avoiding? Why am I avoiding this? What's going to happen if I attain this thing, or if I overcome this hurdle? And then make your priority list and handle the most pressing issues first. The novelty, which is the last person. The novelty has a terminal case of shiny object syndrome. They're consistently coming up with new projects to take on, and then getting bored with them a week later. They're intrigued by the latest trend and will be quick to implement, but not follow through. So your biggest challenge as the novelty is completion. So your solution is to make it stick, literally. Write down new ideas or projects on a sticky note, but don't pursue them until you finish what you are currently working on. A lot of people suffer with this, like, we live in this microwave society, especially when you're building a business. Like, Mikaya, I know you know, and I know you've been studying advertising and how to, get your product out there. And they always, like, even when you go to the creators' webs, like the creators page on Instagram, like, you go to the creators page in order to get tips and tricks on how to promote your business better and to get in front of more people in your page. And it's always about following the next trend. It's always about, what's the hottest song this week? What's the hottest viral reel this week? And then, like, they literally tell you, find a viral reel and then make your own version of it. Like, you got to continue. Like, that's how the society we're in already is training you to go after whatever shiny, the consistently new shiny thing, being in this microwave society. But what you have to do is stop, focus in on what it is that you want to do, and then see your way all the way to completion. Complete the task all the way through. Once you complete the task all the way through, then you can move on to the next task. But don't, like, and you also have to have self-discipline. Be tough on yourself. Like, commit to your commitments. Once you make a commitment, then you need to commit to that commitment. Make a 100% commit to that commitment. And it goes back to the 5 W's, the why. You have to understand why you're doing something. That's how you commit to your commitments, because you need to know why you're doing it. And then what is required of me. And if you know those two things, then it makes it easier for you to commit to your commitments, because you know exactly what it takes. And then you know exactly why you're doing it, and you have a strong enough reason why. So that's how you follow all the way through to completion. Got a quote here from Napoleon Hill. There is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants and a burning desire to achieve it. So I feel like this quote covers all of the types of procrastinators that we went over here this evening. Because you got to be able to want to achieve what it is. You got to know where it is. You got to be focused. Like, you got the one that the self-deprecator, thinking they're lazy. Nope, can't do that. The overbooker, that's the one I was thinking of. The overbooker. The overbooker is the person that they're not definite in their purpose. So they're all over the place. They did the novelty. They don't know what it is that they want. So they start off with that burning desire, but then it fizzles out. You got to keep that until you achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve. So I want to do a quick exercise. I want us to figure out what type of procrastinator are you, and then what type of system can you come up with to reverse it. I got a quote here from Eric Thomas. Do the opposite of what your brain tells you to do. So many of us that struggle with procrastinating, our brain is telling us to procrastinate. So one of the simplest things that we can do is when your brain tells you to do something, do the opposite. Like real quick, Mikael got me on this chess.com. He didn't kick my butt a few times. You know, I owe him, but he got me on this chess.com. So sometimes I'll be sitting down to, you know, work on an assignment or work on something, and I'll be like, oh, let me just do a quick, you know, 1 minute game of chess real quick, 1 minute match. And that's what my brain is literally saying, hey, just go play a quick 1 minute game. And I literally have to do the opposite of what my brain tells me to do. Like, no, don't go play a 1 minute match of chess on chess.com. Go do what it is that you were supposed to do. And that's what I have to do. So that's what, like, I'm literally having to do that for myself. But let's take a couple of moments here to see what type of procrastinator you are and what can you do. What type of system can you come up with to reverse it? And I'm going to go back through them real quick. The performer, the self deprecator, the overbooker, and the novelty. So let's take about 1 minute to do that. Hey, bro, what's good? We P, can you hear me? Hello? Zeron, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, man?
What's going on, bro? Yeah, we kind of went through the lesson. Right now we were going over types of procrastinators, the 4 main types of procrastinators. We just went through them, and now we're actually doing a little quick. Hold on, let me get this off the screen real quick. We're doing a little quick lesson or a quick activity, which is what type of procrastinator are you, and then what type of system can you come up with to reverse it. So we were literally just in the middle of that, and I'll touch back over the types of procrastinators with you real quick so you can see them.
I am driving right now.
You driving right now? All right, then don't worry about it.
Yeah, I see that you're recording it. Just send me the recording so I can.
All right, I got you then.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, so Mikael, you want to start first? What type of procrastinator are you, and what type of system can you come up with to reverse it?
All right. Right quick. Go back to it, bro, because I felt like I was a combination of every last one of them. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I felt like novelty was there. Yeah, I definitely felt like novelty was there. And there was one more at the beginning too. Let's see, novelty.
So we got the performer, the self-deprecator.
Hold on. No, go back. The performer.
Yep.
Nope, that's not me. So I'm one of those type of people. Just overall, I can kind of be the overbooker, but that's more so too because to me, I expected my business to pop more so once I am done working for other people. Yeah. So that's why I said if it take 20 years, I'm cool with it because I plan on leaving a legacy and I want to do it the right way. Gotcha. So I kind of slow. So my thing is I kind of like slow grind it, but it's like I say overbooker because I'll take an order when it's like I don't have other orders, but I got other things to do in my life outside of that one thing.
Yes, sir.
So that's why I kind of say the overbooker, not just in one thing, but in life in general. Like my main obligations is what, I got to focus on. So I got to make sure, that the family in order, the house good. I got to go to work, got to be able to provide. I'm the breadwinner, all that. But then also some of you said, and I was like, man, that's so real. Pretty much we don't know what success look like. Like I don't, I'm the first person in my family to do a lot of things. So I'm actually harder on myself because of that, because I am trying to make it. and I want to do it so big. So yeah, I feel like the steps to be able to overcome that though is just knowing that I got to get out my own way. Like it's me that's doing it, and I can get there faster by just going ahead doing it versus putting it off. Like no matter what it is, you know what I mean? Every hour within the day. And you so right, man. With the chess.com, man, I get on chess.com and I'm talking about next thing you know, I'll be like, yeah, until I win a game, you know, or until I win 3 in a row. I won a game. I'm winning, but he quit. You know what I mean? He resigned.
Yeah.
So it's just like, nah, I want a full game before I can. It's like me, I have like a never satisfied mentality, and I have to learn to be satisfied with what it is that I have right now.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah. And man, yeah, you touched that. You touched on that. And when it goes back to being the first in our family, this is what we have to realize, especially us, our people. Sometimes we feel like we might be behind the 8 ball in regards to overall in society. We feel like we got started a little further back. You know, we had to our ancestors had to deal with Jim Crow, had to deal with redlining, had to deal with, of course, slavery, had to deal with all these things. So we feel like we already behind the 8 ball. But this is what we got to realize: the life that we live in really not for us. Like majority of the things that we are implementing is like we're not going to see the fruits of that, and we have to accept that. Like I think that's what our biggest issue is. We are trying to. We see, oh man, we actually got a fighting chance now. Oh, we actually can do some things, and so we're trying to live a life of greatness and create a life of greatness for our children. And so, like what is happening is we're trying to get it all at once, and we got to realize we're trying to compare to people who they didn't build their stuff up over years. Like they didn't just get all their stuff in one generation. They didn't get the stuff they got in one generation, and we're trying to get it all in one generation, and we can't. And so, and then on top of that, so then what happens is we start working, and we talked about this, we start working harder instead of working smarter. And we don't work harder at being smarter, we just start working harder. And so we're trying to get it for our children and get it for ourselves. So little stuff that we can do, bro, like, and I just learned this. You do something simple as, let's just say, because at the end of the day, the true goal is to work and pass on some to your next generation so that way that they can be comfortable. Am I correct? That's what we're focusing on, right? That's the whole goal of, yes, passing down the legacy. We do something simple as take $5,000, $6,000 and put it in a Roth IRA and let it build up and just keep adding to it. And we do that for our children. And by the time they become 65, they will have at least $1 million in there. And that's all we got to do. Now we set them up so that way they don't have to work as hard during their life to try and make money for after they retire or out at the latter end of their life. So now they can actually spend their life doing what makes them, you know, what their creative power is. Because a lot of people work because they're like, man, either I got to provide for my next generation, or I got to make sure I'm taken care of as when I'm older. But if you set that Roth IRA up now for your children, now they don't have to worry about working for when they get old. They just have to worry about providing for the next generation. And if you teach them to do the same thing, now you're passing down a simple piece of information that takes a lot of burden and a lot of stress off of each generation. So now everyone can operate in their fullness as opposed to like chasing money because they're trying to work for 2 generations at once. It's not how, you can't do it. You can't do it. Man, yeah, you can't do it. And that's all part of the trauma, stress. We talked about all of that. We'll talk about some of that later. But yeah, that's good, bro. Stanford, did you get a chance to come up with yours?
Yeah, I came up with mine. I'm pretty much like the same, all of them. It just depends. No, it depends on the situation you in with anybody, you know what I mean, to make you procrastinate. Cause like I could be at work and something happened, I procrastinate, or I could be ahead of my job, you know what I mean? And I'll be like, well, shit, I got all this free time right quick, so let me bullshit before I go do my paperwork and turn everything in. It just depends on the situation. Or I could be finna go somewhere, you know what I mean? Like, damn, I really don't want to go. So I'll wait to the last moment to get, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You know, it might
yeah.
be a place where your wife didn't decide, you really don't, you're like, damn, I gotta go, because you know what I mean, they wanna go. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
You waited to the last moment though. You know what I mean? Well, why you not getting dressed? You talking about you going? Okay, I'm ready. Her, okay, I'm ready. You know what I mean? It just
Yes,
depends on the
sir.
moment
Yep.
though.
No, I got you. Now, did you come up with a way for you to overcome that? Like, how can you fix that? Even though you may be a mixture of all of them, what's your plan to fix that?
My plan to fix it is just do it. Cause the longer you wait, you know what I mean, you thinking you're gonna keep putting it back. You know what I mean? The same thing like when I got out of therapy or whatever, and they told me I need to, because if I would have waited, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it next week. Yeah. Okay, then you know you'll keep pushing it back. So the best thing to do is just go on and do it.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean? Just you gotta get out your pride sometime. You know what I mean? But like, well, shit, let me go on and step into it because I don't know how it's gonna be until it happens anyway. So you just gotta do it. I just gotta realize I need to just go on and step into it and do it. Like when I do my working out, like let me go on and do it. Because if I don't do it now, I'm not gonna do it.
Yes, sir. Yep. And Zeron put in the chat, set up an inheritance for the grandkids. So yeah, absolutely. We set up these inheritances for our children and for our grandchildren, and they don't have to live as hard as we do. And they don't have to work as hard. Like they can spend their time working smarter, and they're building up for their grandkids. And sometimes it's really not difficult. Like I said, simple as $6,000 in the IRA, in a Roth IRA, letting it build up, and then you contributing to it monthly or however you want to put it in it. But even if you just put that $6,000 in there and you never add another penny to it, and you get the average, which you get back in the market, 10% a year, the average, and of course you're gonna get more of it. Let's say you get the average of 8 to 10%. By the time your child is 65, if you do it when they're 5 or 6, by the time they're 65, they'll have $1 million. Simple. At least $1 million. So all you got to do is just, put forth the plan. But I know for me, and like y'all said, we are all have part of these mixed in, but I know my biggest one is, or the one that I'm the biggest one at, is the performer. Like above anything else, I'm that person that I'm going to wait till the last minute to do something. And for our 21-day fast, that's why one of the things I was fasting from is procrastination, because the version of procrastination that I do is waiting to the last minute to do stuff. And I do that because I don't like looking at my work, because I know I'm gonna be critiquing it, and I'm critiquing it not because I'm trying to fix it, but because I'm like, man, this can't be it. This could be better. I ain't even do good, but that's why I wait. But now having that self-confidence in myself, just continuing to do things that perform, and having that metric system put in place, so that way I have something to compare to. So I know, okay, if I do this, or I put this product out, or I put this service out, and it meets these metrics, then I'm good. There's no confidence in myself to lack, because I'm doing what it is that I know I can do. So I know for me, that's the best thing. And like I put on that last slide, when I start getting to that time, just literally do the opposite of what my brain tells me to do. And I've had to do that. And I gave y'all the example earlier. And I have to do that quite often, because I have wired my brain to procrastinate. So now, until I rewire it, I have to consciously do the opposite of what my mind tells me to do all the time, because that's one of those chains that chain I built up. It was like when I was a kid. It was like when I was a teenager. It was like when I was a young adult. But now I'm in my early 30s. Now it's become heavy. And if I don't address it, it's extremely heavy for me to carry. So that's why I got to make sure that I consciously talk to myself all the time about everything. Write down my goals. Write down what it is that I need to do. Do it at the beginning of the week, and then start knocking stuff out, and don't wait. Like I put up, my goal was that for last week, y'all know, get my business going and get my business credit going and everything like that. Like I set up to have my stuff done by the 15th. All my paperwork came in Monday. I got all my stuff done for my business Monday. because I was like, and when my official documents came through, I was like, I could wait because I did say the 15th, and I literally had to say, nope, we're gonna go do this right now. And I went and got it done. Got the stuff done that I need to get done. Because as we know, how you do some things is how you do everything. So if I allow myself to procrastinate in one area, then I'll allow myself to procrastinate in other areas. And some areas of procrastination can be a lot more detrimental than other areas of procrastination. So in order to kill it, you just got to kill it in all areas of your life, or else it may seep out somewhere where you don't really need it to seep out. Like maybe you're at work and you got an assignment coming up or a project due, and you wait till the last minute, you don't get all the information in it. Now that could cost you your job. That could cost you the ability to be able to provide for your family. So that's why you got to cut it out in all areas, as opposed to just letting it go in one area thinking, oh, I'll be able to get over it. So we're going to talk about our 21-day fast. Talk about our 21-day fast, gentlemen. Zeron, I know today is your first day on, so I'm going to explain what we've been doing real quick. So the purpose of the 21-day fast is, as you know, anything that you want to achieve. Let me rewind back a little bit. The purpose of what we've been doing, our intention session, is we've chosen an intention or a goal that we want to achieve at the end of 365 days. So in order for us to achieve what we want to do, we're doing our fast. The purpose of the fast is, as you know, anytime that you want anything, there has to be a sacrifice. Anything wanted, you have to sacrifice for it. So the purpose of the fast is to sacrifice things of pleasure, as well as sacrifice things that are a hindrance to us achieving our goal. We're doing the fast for 21 days, so that way at the end of the 21 days, we can take this to our Creator, take it to God, take it to the Most High, take it to Yah, take it to our Creator, take it to the source, and say, hey, I've sacrificed these things because I want to achieve this goal. Now I need you to open up the pathways and the doors for me to achieve what it is that I need to achieve. Here's my offering to you. So if, like for me, a couple of my physical fasting is me fasting from meats, fasting from processed sugars, processed foods, breads, those types of things. And then on the other side, the non-physical things is I'm fasting from procrastination. I'm fasting from over information consumption. I'm fasting from what's a couple of the other ones? Negative communications. So those are the things that I'm fasting from, so that way I can go to the Creator and say, hey, I've given up these things. Now open up the doors for me, if you don't mind, to achieve this thing. So that's what our fast has been for. And everybody has fasted from something different. Some brothers, like Micaiah, what are some of the things that you fasted from?
Hold on, I got this juicer going. Give me 1 sec.
No, you good.
I know it was procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
It was procrastination and processed foods.
Okay, good. All right, so we got those things. Stanford, what were a couple of things you fasted from?
Water. I mean, drinking more water, and I didn't say it before, but trying to stay out my cell phone more.
Got you. Okay, so he's fasting from cell phone use and fasting from not drinking enough water. So those are the things, and everybody, we've had different men in here, different times, and they've all come up with their list of things. So we are on day 13 of our 21-day fast. So I don't know if you want to jump in now, kind of take the time to go over what you want to fast from, and then jump in a little bit later or whatnot. But that's where we're at right now. So we usually just talk about it, touch on it. What was that?
My fault, Bert. I mean, basically, I was talking about, cut back on drinking soda and juice.
Drinking more water.
That's all I do.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay. So that's where we at with our 21-day fast. Everybody's holding up great. I know for me, I'm getting a lot more mental clarity. It's a lot of like, I'm not tired when I wake up. I don't have to take a nap during the middle of the day. I'm definitely more productive, especially with the fasting from procrastination. I'm more productive. Surprisingly, the fasting from the negative communication allows me to be more productive as well, because I'm not allowing myself to listen to things that may not get me closer to my goal. So whereas I was listening to music and stuff, now it's like, okay, that's negative communication, not necessarily because it's bad, but because it's not pushing me toward my goal. So now I'm spending that time learning more information, listening to more podcasts, listening to more books. And then also making sure that the people that I talk to are people who we're going to be talking about things that are productive. We're not going to be sitting around talking about other people. We're not going to be sitting around talking about what else. We're not going to be sitting around talking about what we could have did, should have did, would have did, what happened 10 years ago, how I didn't know. We ain't talking about none of that. We're talking about pushing forward into the future. So that's what that negative communication has done for me. Fasting from that negative communication has, really helped me push forward toward that goal. So that's that. And then, gentlemen, the last thing that we're going to finish up with is reading of Letters to a Young Brother by Harper. We are on letter 7. We started letter 7 yesterday. Only read a couple of pages of it because it was kind of late when we were getting off yesterday. Hold on. Let me pull it up here. So I'll go back and I'll read the title of letter 7. Letter 7, Tools of Choice, Educating and Money Making. So that's what he's talking about right here. Tying money making and education together. Let me see here. Okay, so I'm gonna start here where we were left off at. I literally only read one page. So no doubt, money is one of the most powerful tools available in this lifetime. But that's all it is, a tool. It's a tool that gives you choices. How does education relate to that? Education is just like money. It's a tool that also buys you choices. On a real level, education and money are the same currency in the world. They're both tools and they buy and afford you choices. Do you see how money and education relate? The more you learn, the more valuable you become and the more you can maneuver in this world. Whatever job, travel, whatever it is, jobs, travel, or connections, it's the same with money. There is no doubt that money plays a huge role in each and every one of our lives on a daily basis. So much so that when asked the question, what do you want most in life? Most people answer lots of money. The need and want for money is consuming. People don't usually say, I want to be unreasonably happy. They don't say, I want my family to be unreasonably happy. Nor do they say, I want to be healthy and happy. They usually turn first to their desire for money. Check it out. There's nothing wrong with wanting money. I want money. Me, Harper. I like money. But I also realize the old saying, there are some things that money can't buy. It's true. In fact, if you break it down, money can buy one thing and one thing only. And you know what that is? Options. Money is great because it can buy you options. Money cannot buy you freedom or happiness or love. If you have enough money, it gives you options as to what you can do in your life and with your life. If you have enough money, you can go anywhere you want or buy whatever you want. Every option is on the table. If you have enough money and you get sick, you can afford to go to any hospital you want. See, that's where money ends, with options. If you are sick and dying, money can't make you well. All money can buy you is options, and that's pretty good. The more options we have, the more ability we have to change directions on the journey to being unreasonably happy. So where does hope fit in? In today's world, education, technology, and money all buy options. That's why they are linked to hope. For instance, since money can only buy you options, options has a direct effect on hope. Because if you have many options at your disposal, it's much easier to be hopeful. If one option sucks, then you have other options that probably won't suck. That's one way money and hope are related. Most people who are struggling with money issues on a basic lack of money obsess about it day and night, believing that if they can just get more, it will magically solve all their problems and make them happy. Money will solve your financial problems, but money will never make anybody happy. If you aren't happy now, believe me, money will not change that. People spend their lives chasing dreams they hope will make them rich. They even try to shortcut the process by making easy money by breaking the law, stealing, scamming, and dealing drugs. All of these illegal ways to make easy money carry the risk of hard time, jail. There is no such thing as easy money. Money, however it comes to you, is not the root cause of happiness. Nothing tangible and outside of yourself can ever be the source of your happiness. It is important then to ask yourself, what qualities do I need to embody in order to be happy? For me, it is the loving relationships I have with my friends and my family, my work as an actor and artist, and my newfound exchange of letters with you. Those things make me happy. More focus needs to be put on developing an inner happiness. doing what you love, and having faith that you will do these things, the money will come. Imagine having all the money you could ever need and the next day is gone. Like in the stock market crash in the 1920s. People were jumping out of buildings and off of bridges. People lost all of their money and then they lost their minds, and all because of their unhealthy attachment to money. Liking money is healthy. Putting the desire for money above your desire for health and happiness is unhealthy. I promise you, work on being happy. Find the thing you love to do. Pursue that and the money will follow. Your generation is in the toughest position in recent history. It's no wonder that many of you have little hope for your future and don't think you'll ever be able to buy a piece of real estate or get out of debt or succeed. Your generation is the first one that will never know what it means to have job security. The days of people staying in a job for 30 years are, for the most part, over. It's not surprising so many in your generation are seriously depressed about their future. And with no hope, many of you have given up. You've decided that you're not only broken financially, but your spirit is broken as well. Well, that's what many think, but here's the deal. It would appear that most young people are broke by circumstance, right? One, the cost of educating yourself in student loan debt is huge. And two, the job market is shrinking because our country is exporting many of our jobs overseas, where the cost of living is much lower, and therefore the companies pay the workers much less. What does that mean? It means that you've been born into a generation where the cost of everything is higher, but your ability to make money, i.e. buy options, is lower. You don't know what to do because no one is teaching you how to navigate in this new landscape. Your parents and your grandparents don't know how to teach you because they grew up in a different time with different circumstances where everything was expanding, not contracting. Your school's curriculum, which means what they're teaching you or trying to teach you, is probably out of date for today's reality as well. Music seems to be one of the only areas where lessons seem to be handed down in this new way of the world. However, the new lessons in music aren't necessarily the ones that may serve your best either. For instance, a few years ago, there was this rap song by The Lox with Lil Kim called Money, Power, and Respect. And one of the lines went, first you get the money, then you get the power. In the song, they were presenting wrong information in the wrong order. A more accurate way of breaking it down would be a song titled Power, Respect, Money. First, you get the power by getting a good education and setting yourself up for success at whatever you do. Education, clear and simple, is power. Then you get the respect, because by committing yourself to learning and strengthening your mind, you gain self-respect and the respect of all those friends and family members around you. And last but not least, you get the money, because the more education you have, the higher salary you can command in the job market. On the face of it, everything seems to be going against your generation. But that's not true. Why? Because your generation has more choices and opportunities than any generation before. Like I said earlier, money is simply a tool to give you choices, as are technology and your ability to communicate and connect with more people than any generation in the history of the world. Use all of these tools. One surefire way to bring more money and opportunities into our lives is to integrate technology with education. This will give you more job options, jobs with higher salaries, and because your generation is more technology savvy, the playing field in terms of education and jobs has been leveled more so than it has been ever in the past. I'm gonna go ahead and stop here because it's a long way to the end of this chapter. But so far, that's a good reading for that letter 7. And many of us, this book is a little older, and y'all know this book is a little older. But most of us were raised in that generation. Most of us are I know I'm 33, so I'm in my early 30s. Most of us are in our early to mid 30s. And we remember a lot of those things that we were taught in those songs. And as much as we don't like to admit it, that music is what was impressed on our mind. And that music is what has shaped our view of reality. So a lot of us are struggling with these things, and it's taken most of us to us getting to our 30s to realize, hold on, all of that stuff that was put in us, it don't work. A majority of it doesn't work. It's not true. It's not based in real reality. So it's very important that we continue to understand that. One of the things that he said in the book, though, he said our parents gave us outdated information. many of us struggle. Many of us have a resentment toward our parents because we feel like our parents didn't give us everything that we needed. A lot of us feel like our parents didn't give us anything. And for those of you all who are struggling with, acceptance of your parents, or struggling with that resentment towards your parents, like, you got to let that go, because your parents didn't know that society was going to shift into the landscape that it did when we started growing up. A lot of our parents, the information that they had worked for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Like, all you were taught was just work hard and you'll be straight. And that worked. But then we were the generation that came along where it wasn't just about how hard you work. It's about the information that you have. It's about the opportunities that you come across. It's about your networking. It hasn't always been about that. It was easy for you to just go sit, plug in as a cog at a car factory, stamp your piece of metal that you're supposed to stamp, do that for 30 years, and your whole family's taken care of. That may not work now. Now you got to know some people, or else you're going to get left behind. You got to have the right network, or you're going to get left behind. So we got to accept that. Like, for example, my parents had me when they was 14 and 16. My mother was 14 and my father was 16. So just imagine all the information that I did not get because my parents were still growing up as they were raising me as a child. And there's a lot of information that I didn't get. But once I realized, okay, that happened, that was the past, there's nothing I could do about it to go back and change it. And I wasn't responsible for that, but I'm responsible for myself every day moving forward. And everything moving forward is on me. It ain't nobody else's fault. So even if I feel like my foundation is faulty, it's still on me to go back and dig that foundation up, because at the end of the day, nobody ain't going to care about all that other stuff. They're not going to care that my mother was 14 and my father was 16. They're just going to say, hey, did you get done what you need to get done? When the Most High come back and test me, when I'm standing right there, he's going to say, I gave you these tests for a reason. I didn't just put you in these tests just to put you in this test. But at the end of the day, did you get done what I put you on that earth to get done? And I want to be able to stand before him and say, yes, I did. And the only way I could do that is not make excuses for the things, for the hand that I was dealt. I can't, it's just like playing spades, fellas. Like, none of us can choose our hands when we playing spades. The only thing we can do is play it. That's it. That's the only thing we can do. And Mick, you remember when we was playing spades at Sage House? We was playing spades. And even when me and Sage had bad hands, Sage was still talking that talk. So now you think we got something different. No, we had to play the hand we was dealt. And we still were able to come out with wins because we had to play a little bit outside of the hand. Maybe I got to talk to you, have you thinking I got one thing and I got something different. Now I got to do something different. Throw your partner off. He don't know what's going on. Confusing him. Like, a lot of different things. That's what we got to do in life. Like, we literally, we can't control the hand that we were dealt, but we can control how we play it. So that's what we got to do moving forward. Forgive our parents, move forward, and take full ownership of what it is that we have in our life and what it is that we want to have in our life. That's the only way we're going to get where we need to get to. Gentlemen, is there anything that anyone wants to add? Any questions that anyone has? Any comments? Anything that anyone wants to say? Any of those things? The floor is open. All right. Well, nobody has anything to add. I want to say thank you.
I'll just say
okay.
I'm new to the group, and I know you and I go back, some ways. Mm-hmm. I want to try to make it a habit of getting involved with this.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, just send me the recording so I can just kind of see how the flow goes.
Gotcha.
And then anticipate me being on.
Gotcha.
And there may be some. I'll just be frank. There might be some things that I might present that might be challenging, but my foundation is God and Jesus. Mm-hmm. So it's all just coming from a place of iron sharpening iron.
Absolutely. And everybody everybody don't, and I do this every day. Every night, 8:00, I do this. So some nights, some brothers are on, other nights, other brothers are on, some night, or every night, some brothers are on. But, the goal when I created this is for all men. So there isn't one specific type of man who we have in here. Because my definition is all manhood doesn't look the same. So whatever you need to be a great man in your life may not look like what I need to be a great man in my life. But at the end of the day, we're all men here together to build each other up, to hold each other accountable, and to pour into one another, to support one another. That's literally the motto of infrastructure of a man. Building one another up, holding one another accountable, supporting one another, and pouring into one another. And you've missed some lessons, but we've been here, fighting through some of the demons that we got, giving each other advice, going into our deepest, darkest secrets and stuff like that. We've done all of that on here. So yeah, you come in and add whatever you need to add, and that's absolutely fine. That's what we're here for. That's what this is here for. So I'm working on getting all of the previous lessons up on YouTube. And then once I get them all up on the YouTube channel, everybody just go in there and go watch them and see how they are and see what they missed. But yeah, I appreciate you being here, bro.
No problem. Appreciate the invite.
Absolutely. All right. Alex, I know you just came in a little late. I'm gonna have the recording up so you can be able to watch it. Basically, we went over the types of procrastinators. What type of procrastinator are you? And so when you go back and watch the video, you'll see it. And then you can figure out the type of procrastinator you are and then what steps you can implement to come up, to overcome that type of procrastination. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I'll see you gentlemen tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Last thing, this is not a secret society. Zeron, this ain't no secret society. If you know any men who could benefit from this meeting, from this call, send them the Zoom link. We welcome everybody. We don't have to, ain't nobody paying. I ain't charging nobody. Nobody ain't got to give me no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is absolutely free. This call is absolutely free for everybody. And it's open to everybody, all type of men. Don't matter the color, no matter the religion, no matter the creed, no matter none of that. We are all men here trying to support one another. So, yes, sir. So I want to thank everybody, and you all have a beautiful evening.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Shalom.
Yes, sir. Shalom, Mike.
All right, take it easy.
All right, Aki.
Sorry about being late.
Nah, you good. You good, man. You good. Yeah, I'll put up the videos, and then that way y'all can just see them.
Yeah, I'll catch up on Danny. I literally just dropped my nieces off. Just got done with the youth group, so main guy had called out. So it was just me and like one other guy. It worked. So got it done.
Ain't that what you was asking for? Isn't that one of the things you want to be able to just step into that role and do that?
Yeah. Without that notice.
Yes, sir.
You gotta be careful what you ask for. You think for something, then you get it. But,
you get it. But you've been practicing. So, and then you've been taking that stress of not being fully prepared or not having the ability to prepare for that thing off. So, and then too, bro, you gotta look at it like you was in the military, like yeah, you plan, but nothing ever goes according to plan. So you got a backup plan for the plan, but that's why you just have your little, your little lessons.
Especially dealing with kids of that age.
Yeah.
It's all high school aged kids that I'm working with. So the moment they got in there, the first thing they did was divide up into their little groups.
And get on their phones.
Everyone had a phone out. Everyone was sitting in their little corners. So
Yes,
I had to bring it all together. I found something silly. I brought Operation, because we do like board games and stuff sometimes. So we did a tournament for Operation, then played Taboo and made them break up into teams that they're not used to. So now they got to get used to working on people who they're not used to. Yep. So it actually turned out pretty good. So I enjoyed it.
All right, good. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's good, man. And so, and as you know, you got to feel. Well, you probably that was your first time, or you've led them before.
That was the first time we played those games. Okay. Usually we do something simple like Uno or.
I'm gonna send you a game. It's called the Truth of Yah board game. It's a biblical board game. So it's legitimately fun, bro. But because y'all are at church and you want to learn more about scriptures, this will help you like really know it, learn it, and it's a cool game because like you got to know your scriptures. So hold on, let me send this to you real quick.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks.
And then you can get it for the house too. Y'all play it at home, but you know, especially with the kids.
Yeah, I mean, you get practicing things, you get better at it. So
yes, sir.
Script.
Hurry up and send this because my phone about to die.
Okay. Yeah, just send it to me. It's no big deal. I'm about a couple minutes away from the house. I think I got one extra person at the house, so I'm about to find out a little bit.
Okay. Hold on. Yeah, I'm sending it right now. Copy. All right then, bro. I'll let you go.
All right, and take it easy.
All right, you too.
All right.
All right.